Hello, welcome back. So I hope that in my previous videos, you were able to know the things that you should not be doing, especially if you are just starting your freelancing career, kasi that those things will have a major effect or have major effect on determining if you will succeed in freelancing journey or virtual assistant journey. So now let's move forward sa things that you should be doing. And in this lesson, we will be discussing the first thing that you should be doing, which is you should do self-assessment and skill identification. So self-assessment and skill identification or skills identification is one of the primary and crucial steps that you should be doing when you are planning to switch to freelancing or virtual assistant career, because that will determine or help you set a realistic goals and to help you position yourself in the market, because we have lots of competition when it comes to freelancing. So if you know if you did some self-assessment and if you know your skill, then you will be able to know your strength, your weaknesses, and then the gaps or the areas for improvement. First step talaga sa pag-switch sa virtual assistant is yung i-assess mo talaga yung sarili mo. What you can do, what are your weaknesses, and what you are lacking, so that you can do some improvements or action for improvement. And again, kapag nagkaroon kayo ng assessment about your skill set, then yung skill set na ma-assess ninyo, makukompare ninyo yun kung ano yung mga current na nasa market with your chosen industries or niche, and then you can align your services with those other competitors out there. Again, i-reiterate ko, ang freelancing or ang virtual assistant is providing specific services or expertise or specialties sa mga businesses around the world. So you need to know your skill set, what are your specialties. Without self-assessment and skill identification, it will be hard for you to come up with the services or your specific industry or niche. Kasi kapag wala kayo nun, makikigaya lang kayo, and then sometimes you get lost. Nung nag-start pa lang ako ng YouTube channel ko, mayroon akong na-coach na isang aspiring virtual assistant, and then ang sabi niya, she's a dentist, and she said like, hey Miss Lisa, I wanted to switch to freelancing kasi during the time pandemic pa yon, and then nakikita ng mga tao na booming nga yung virtual assistant, and then she asked me if pwede daw ba yung virtual assistant sa dentist na katulad niya. So ang sabi ko sa kanya, of course, binigyan ko siya ng mga advices na of course pwede naman talaga maging virtual assistant and dentist, pero ano ba yung mga aside from doing the dental yung sa kanyang practice, dental practice na, ano pa ba yung other administrative tasks na pwede niyang i-provide? Kasi again, kapag virtual assistant ka, hindi ka pwede maging dentist tapos nandun sa other countries yung patient mo, di ba? So ano pa yung other skill set mo na pwede mong i-offer na hindi naman mamimis-align dun sa goal mo? Kasi kung practicing dentist ka, ano pa ba yung mga dapat mo o yung mga pwede mong i-provide ng services? Halimbawa, advisories. So pwede, or consultation, right? So hindi ka doon practicing, kung willing ka na maging dentist ka pa rin naman, practicing dentist pa rin, pero ano ba yung mga available job na pwede dun sa mga dentist na katulad niya? So again, katulad ng consultation, so pwede siyang maging parang first point of contact ng mga dental patient na nagko-contact dun sa, let's say, specific clinic or hospital doon sa, let's say, sa US. And then ang magiging task niya is to answer the calls or the phone calls inquiries ng mga dental patient, and then she will be able to answer all those questions using her practice. Pero again, hindi na siya pupunta sa clinic, hindi na siya magkakaroon interaction doon sa or pwede din niyang gawing part-time. Kasi yung concern niya nun, Miss Liz, I have a clinic, and then okay naman yung kinikita ko, but since pandemic nga, medyo nabawasan na, medyo mas malaki na yung binabayad kong rental, and then walang masyadong patient na pumupunta doon sa clinic. So I would say na kung pwede naman ako maging virtual assistant, for the time being, hindi naman niya long-term na goal na maging dental virtual assistant in the long term. So again, that's the importance of assessing what other services or your skill set, hindi lang dun sa practice na, dun sa profession na pinapractice mo ngayon. Kasi nga, again, anything that can be done remotely can be a task or job or project for virtual assistant, regardless of your profession. Kung dental siya, pwede siyang mag-assist sa mga sa mga dental assistant. And again, hindi ko alam kung ano pa yung mga other skill set ninyo or niya. And then again, pwede naman ninyong i-assess yun kung ano pa yung mga kailangan ninyong i-dissect kung ano yung mga other skills ninyo into small services na pwede nyong i-offer sa client. And that's how you're gonna do the skill set assessment or self-assessment or skill identification. So, maaring ang tanong nyo, hey Miss Lisa, paano ba mag-self-assessment and skill identification. So may mga steps tayo, may mga series of steps tayo na dapat gawin natin. Kasi ang tanong kasi ng iba, Miss Lisa, pwede ba ako maging virtual assistant kahit wala akong experience? Kasi ang iniisip ko, ano bang experience yung, when they say experience, nahihirapan akong intindihin nung time na yun. Kasi sabi niya, Miss Lisa, pwede ba ako maging virtual assistant kasi wala akong experience? Pero when I look at her resume, she's full of good experience, working experience. She has 12 years of working experience as operations manager. Pero sabi niyo wala daw siya experience. So, hindi po ganon. Kapag ikaw ay virtual assistant, you just have to do some self-assessment and skill identification. So, number one ninyo dapat gawin is reflect on your professional experience or professional working experience para i-dissect ninyo kung ano yung mga naging projects ninyo before, ano yung roles ninyo, ano yung tenure ninyo, and then from there, let's say projects, ano yung mga participation ninyo dun sa mga tasks ng projects ninyo, ano yung involvement ninyo dun sa projects na yun, ano yung company na pinagtrabahuhan ninyo before, ano yung mga positions na na-held ninyo. So, yun po ay isa sa mga way para ma-assess ninyo yung inyong skill set. So, again, number one step to self-assessment and skill identification is reflect on your professional experience. Kasi kapag na-assess na ninyo yung inyong professional experience, ma-assess na rin ninyo yung mga susunod ninyong ipoprovide na services. Kasi kung meron kayong mga specific tasks dun sa trabaho ninyo or sa field ninyo na ayaw na ninyong gawin, so you can eliminate that, take that out from your list ng services na ipoprovide ninyo. So, again, check ninyo kung ano, i-dissect ninyo yung mga previous projects, jobs, or companies, and then yung mga tasks, favorite tasks ninyo, yung mga ayaw ninyong mga tasks. So, mag-start kayo dun sa inyong current or past professional experience. Hindi po porke sabihin ninyo na wala akong experience as virtual assistant, pero meron akong 10 years of experience as operations manager. That's your professional experience and that's something that you can offer na sa client. Don't worry about having experience sa pagiging virtual assistant kasi itatakal natin yan sa itatakal natin yan sa mga susunod nating videos. So ngayon, focus lang tayo dun sa inyong professional experience para makapag-create tayo kung ano yung mga skill sets ninyo at saka mga strength and weaknesses ninyo. So ngayon, na-evaluate na ninyo yung inyong professional experience, so projects, roles, companies, and then positions. And then now, susunod naman natin gagawin is focus on your core skills and strengths. So when I say focus on your core skills and strengths, paano mo ba i-evaluate yun? So ano ba yung mga meron kang certification ngayon, halimbawa CPA ka, so you are Certified Public Accountant License. So that's another strength. Or kung halimbawa naman operations manager ka for 10 years, ano yung expertise mo, ano yung magaling ka? Halimbawa, policy and procedure, halimbawa sa paggawa ng mga policies and procedures, so that will be your key or core strength. So hanapin mo, i-evaluate mo yung sarili mo, hanapin mo kung ano yung mga services na pwede mong i-provide out of those previous experiences or current experiences ninyo. Again, find your core skills and strength. Saan ka ba magaling? Halimbawa, gusto mo mag-focus sa estimation, then that will be your core strength. Halimbawa, magaling kang mag-sales. Halimbawa, sa operations na 10 years ka sa operations, pero you can speak and you can talk, and then sa tingin mo, magaling ka sa sales. So, you can add that as your core strength. So, magaling ka na sa policies and procedures, magaling ka pa sa sales, and then kung halimbawa may mga analytic experience ka, halimbawa, marunong kang ng mga graphs, mga analyzation, then that's another skill. So, meron ka ng 3 skills. And then, breakdown mo lang lahat kung ano yung mga skills mo. Again, ulitin ko kasi ito yung ulit-ulit na sinasabi sa akin nung wala po akong experience. And then, nakikita ko to sa mga FB groups ng mga, I've been in the call center for 3 years, pero hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin tumatanggap sa aking clients kasi wala akong experience as VA. It doesn't matter kung may experience kayo or VA. Focus ka lang dun sa mga core skills mo. Halimbawa, certified public accountant ka. So, ano yung expertise mo? Halimbawa, magaling ka sa taxation. Miss Lisa, yung taxation dito sa Pilipinas, ibang-iba dun sa US. Well, that's something that is gap doon sa iyong core strength is yung taxation dito sa Philippines, but maybe there is something that you can adjust or, improve. Kaya nga sinasabi, importante yung magkaroon tayo ng self-assessment and skill identification. Kasi kung ikaw ay CPA ka, so that's good strength na. Pero kung ikaw ay expert ka sa tax dito, ano pa yung other skills mo na pwede mong i-offer sa client? Halimbawa, magaling ka sa accounts payable, magaling ka sa paggawa ng financial, financial statement, or magaling ka sa pag-analyze ng mga crypto and things like that. So, mag-create ka ng unique services na sa tingin ninyo ay yun yung iyong core strength. Ngayon, syempre, hindi lang kayo mag-focus kung ano yung core strength ninyo. Focus din kayo kung ano yung weakness ninyo and then kung ano yung gap ninyo when it comes to the market dito sa freelancing industries. So, kung kayo ay may mga weaknesses, anong weakness ninyo? Halimbawa, kung accountant ka, gusto mong maging tax accountant, pero sa US nga yung target na market mo. So, kapag ka kayo ay nag-create ng, kapag ka meron kayong mga ganong gap, syempre, ang gagawin ninyo is magbabasa-basa kayo or mag-research kayo about more about US taxation. Depends kung ano yung country na pinag-a-applyan ninyo or yung target client ninyo. So, again, there's no excuses kung talagang gusto ninyong maging virtual assistant. Pero again, huwag na kayong lumayo pa. Katulad ng ginagawa ng iba, meron silang 10 years experience as customer service manager, and then nag-enroll sila ng mga courses online to be a social media manager or to be an accountant. Again, kung hindi naman kayo passionate doon sa pagganon, sa social media management na yon or sa pagiging accountant sa numbers, bakit kayo magpapacertify o bakit kayo mag-enroll ng ganong course kung hindi naman kayo passionate about it? Bakit hindi kayo mag-focus kung ano yung talagang experience ninyo na simulan ninyo? Unless na gusto ninyong mag-switch ng career, of course, it's different stories, right? Pero kung kayo ay masaya na kung ano yung skill set na meron kayo at gusto lang ninyo talagang mag-switch into virtual assistant na yung pa rin yung services na gagawin ninyo kasi that's what you love to do, then just go ahead, find your strength, your core strength, and then identify your skills. And again, kung may mga nakikita kayong weakness, yung weakness niyo pwede naman ninyong iset aside muna na, okay, hindi ako magaling dito sa ganito, iset aside ko muna, hindi ko siya i-add as an offer to my client. And then, kung may mga gap noon, ang usually naman kasi sa mga katulad ninyo na nag-i-start pa lang ng virtual assistant, ang usually nakikita ko na gap is yung inyong knowledge sa basic technology or basic applications na ginagamit nila, mga commonly used tools na, again, nag-create ako ng toolkit para makita ninyo sa specific niche. Again, hindi yun lahat, pero from time to time, I will add kung ano yung mga ma-encounter ko na mga commonly used tools sa specific niche or industries na magagamit ninyo na para mapag-aralan ninyo kung paano gamitin or at least basic navigation. Again, hindi nyo naman kailangan ng experience na nag-land kayo ng virtual assistant. Kasi again, ang pagiging virtual assistant is just about doing the job remotely. Pero again, kung kayo ay accountant, mag-bookkeeping pa rin kayo. Mag-check pa rin kayo ng balance statement, financial statement. It's just the same. Mag-communicate kayo sa clients. Again, ang pinaka-focus lang talaga ninyo or ang gap lang ninyo or ang weakness lang ninyo ay yung mga commonly used tools na dapat pinafocus ninyo. Pero again, hindi nyo na kailangan lumayo, hindi nyo na kailangan mag-recertify, hindi nyo na kailangan mag-aral ng another course para lang maging virtual assistant na sometimes lumalayo na kayo doon sa inyong core strength or sa inyong skill set kasi nga nadadivert kayo dahil lang sa mga good stories na napapanood ninyo sa social media. Kaya nga again, do not listen to social media or other VAs kasi nga madadivert kayo sa mga maling information. Kaya again, kung talagang gusto niyo maging virtual assistant, lalo na ito sa mga professional CPAs, engineers, mga nagda-drafting, kung magagaling kayong halimbawa software developer kayo or business development manager kayo, operations manager, hindi nyo na kailangan mag-add ng other skills. Learn the basic and commonly used tools dun sa niche ninyo. And then I can guarantee you, makakar kayo kaagad. Kasi yung palang na 10 years or 2 years or 3 years ninyo experience dun sa previous profession ninyo, that's a good selling point na ninyo doon sa client. And I can guarantee you na kapag in-interview kayo and if they ask you about your previous job, you can talk well. Kumbaga, kaya nyo i-sell yung sarili ninyo. Kaya yung iba, hindi natatanggap sa pagiging virtual assistant kasi nga, nag-divert sila from customer service, nag-divert sila into social media manager, and hindi naman full yung kanilang, kasi again, sabi ko nga, sometimes it takes 4 years, bachelor's degree course, bago kayo maging expert something. Katulad ng accounting, yung iba nag-aaral na maging accountant para daw makapag-bookkeeping sila. For some people, kung talagang license kayo, or for some people, it takes 4 years. It's very unfair for them naman na nag-aaral sila ng 4 years and then aaralin mo lang ng 2 hours, 3 hours, tapos mag-offer ka ng accounting services. Pero again, may mga kaakibat kasi yan na responsibilidad and accountability when it comes to, halimbawa sa engineering, di ba? Accountable ka doon sa mga standards, sa mga tinatawag nilang standards of the industries ng mga engineering, ganun din sa mga accounting. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-provide ng wrong information, financial information sa client kung malulugi yung clients mo or magkakaroon ng problema sa IRS. Kaya nga, again, focus on your core skills. Kung anong meron ka, yun ang in-nourish mo, doon ka magsimula. Ngayon, kung talagang gusto mong mag-divert into another position or another niche, then go ahead. Pero itas mo muna yung initial just do, sabi ko nga, mag-itas mo muna kung ano yung meron ka currently ngayon. Bakit ka palalayo? Nagsasayang ka lang ng oras at saka ng pera, mag-certify ka ng kung ano nung 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours na mga course dyan. Tapos hindi mo rin naman magagamit sa sa interviewer, hindi mo naman ma-isi-sell ng maayos ng sarili mo kasi kulang ka ng core experience doon sa mga ganong bagay. So, I hope that, everything that I said here makes sense to you. Kasi kapag known na sa inyo yung mga skill sets ninyo, weakness, and yung mga gaps, so doon kayo magpo-focus. So again, nakaseparate na, nakabaki. Bakit ninyo? Make a list. So itong assignment ko sa inyo, homework ko sa inyo, make a list of everything or anything that you can offer. I-dissect ninyo yung services. Halimbawa, sa accounting sa accounting, ano ba yung mga composition ng accountants? Di ba, meron tayong accounts payable, accounts receivable, pag-prepare ng balance statement or financial statements, and then again, yung mga reconciliation, iba pa rin yun, expense management, invoice management. So those are different types of services that you can already dissect and offer to your client. Isa-isahin niyo yun and then set pricing doon sa bawat isa na yun. That's how you gonna assess your skills, your skill sets, and hindi nyo na kailangang lumayo. Tapos kapag na-identify na ninyo yung mga skill sets ninyo yun na pwedeng i-offer nyo sa client, then do your research kung magkano ba yung mga pay, magkano yung rate ng mga ganun. Or kung halimbawa, mag-create ka ng sarili mong range or rates. Diba? Pag combinein mo yung accounts payable at saka receivables, diba? Isang services na yun. Or pwede mong sabihin na, okay, I can do the accounts payable and I will do the expense management for free. Discounted na yun. Or halimbawa, bookkeeping services, ang offer mo lang is, kasi meron mga monthly, weekly, quarterly bookkeeping or annual bookkeeping, diba? So pwede kang mag-offer ng mga ganung service. Again, think through it. Isipin ninyo kung ano yung doon sa previous and current professional practice ninyo, kung ano yung mga pwede ninyong i-offer. Doon kayo magsimula. Huwag na kayong pumunta or makinig pa sa iba kasi again, sayang lang yung i-enroll ninyo na 100 pesos, 150 pesos, 1,500 for 2 to 3 hours or 6 hours course na hindi naman related. It's okay kung related naman yung dun sa niche na gusto mo or dun sa current profession mo. Why not? It's additional knowledge, additional experience. So why not? Pero kung unsure ka pa or talagang medyo gulo ka pa kung ano yung first step na gagawin mo, paano may evaluate yung iyong skill set at paano ka mag-offer ng services sa iyong clients, simula ka sa iyong current profession. And then based dun sa mga evaluations, sa skill sets evaluation na nagawa mo, then set a goal. Okay, ito yung aking isi-service, ito yung aking description, ito yung aking pricing, and then you will never go wrong. Again, kung kailangan nyo mag-aral na ng new technology, mga ChatGPT or whatever AI is available out there that is related to your niche or your chosen industries, why not? Sabi ko nga sa inyo, first is when you do the self-assessment and skill identification, find your core skills. Kapag ano na ninyo yung core skills ninyo and strength, find your weakness. What are your weaknesses? And then kapag yung weaknesses na yun, ask yourself, do I need to improve this? Or I can set this aside for the meantime para ako naman ay makamag-move forward na muna sa aking freelancing journey? And then, ano yung gap? Ano ba yung gap mo? When I say gap, ano ba yung current industries na related sa niche mo or sa yung services na ino-offer na wala ka ngayon. Again, katulad sinasabi ko, I can guarantee you na ang wala ka sa ngayon, ang gap na dapat mong pagtuunan is yung commonly used tools sa iyong industry. So pag-aralan mo yun yung gap, big gap yun. And then it takes time, it takes a while. Huwag kayong basta-basta mag-enroll lang dun sa 1 hour, 2 hours na lesson. Kasi kailangan yun ng practice. Again, walang client or kahit na anong galing mo or kahit na ano pang daming certification ang nakatalaytay dun sa resume mo, they will just ignore your application if they don't see that dun sa resume mo or sa portfolio mo yung mga tools and mga applications na kailangan nila, tapos wala ka ng ganun. Masi-set aside yung iyong resume and portfolio and then ipaprioritize nila yung mga tao or yung mga virtual assistant, freelancer na may mga ganung skill sets. And I can attest that kasi katulad yun, before nung nag-a-apply ako as virtual assistant, may mga application na hindi ko alam. And then, hindi ko alam na yung client ko, nagtitingin din pala na siya ng isang another applicant from India. So, merong competitor ako. Yung sa India, magagaling sila din. Although, hindi sila ganun kagaling mag-English. Pero, when it comes to technology, very resourceful sila. And then, they are very up-to-date, very current, yung kanilang knowledge sa mga technologies. And so, hindi ako natanggap. And then, that's what makes me realize na, okay, wala ako nito. And then, breakdown course, sinulat ko yung mga application na kailangan ko matutunan and then I made a goal na okay, within 3 months kailangan alam ko to, at least yung basic navigation para naman makapag-compete ako dun sa mga competitor ko. So again, dun sa mga steps na sinabi ko sa inyo on how you gonna do self-assessment and skill identification, kapag nagawa ninyo yung mga steps na sinabi ko sa inyo, that will empower you to set your goals and your services and the services that you're gonna offer to your clients. And again, that will help you empower, feel confident about the services that you are providing. Hindi yung nag-add ka lang ng skill set kasi yun yung narinig mo sa ibang VAs. So again, I hope that in this video you learned something, and I hope that you find it very valuable throughout your virtual assistant journey. So let's move on to my next video, which is another thing that you should be doing. So we already discussed the things that you should not do, and then we already talked about the things that you should do. The first thing that you should do, which is the self-evaluation and skill identification. Now let's move forward to my next video. So in my next video, we will talk about another thing that you should be doing, which is identifying the most commonly used tools in your selected or chosen industries or niche. All right, see you in my next video.